Ladies and gentlemen, today we have Jolyon, partner at Simmons Simmons. How are you, Jolyon?
How are you doing? Good.
Really good. Could you tell us a little bit about what is Simmons Simmons?
Simmons Simmons is a law firm. We specialize in FinTech and also financial institutions.
Okay. And since it's a law firm, could you tell us a little bit about what's your viewpoint on the current regulation and blockchain and crypto space?
But there's a lot of noise around regulation. Regulation seems to be at the forefront of everyone's mind, certainly when they're talking about using money to invest into cryptocurrencies, for example. Now, regulators are getting sometimes some bad press around that, but reality is the regulators are not issuing regulations all the time to try and regulate cryptocurrency. What they're doing is repeating what their main principles are, and that cryptocurrency should not be breaching any of those. So there's always three things we always point out that people need to think about and make sure that they get comfortable with to ensure that they don't upset the regulators. The first one is, this is the only thing they're concerned about, is AML. It's about financial stability, and it's about not ripping off the consumers. So those are the three things that people need to think about.
What would you say is the best practice for any startup that are thinking to do an ICO or to do crypto related project?
Well, I mean, that's a very broad question because there's an awful lot you have to think about. But at the same time, it's very important to go into it and look at things very simply. There's a whole framework that already exists when it's coming to raising money, when it's coming to using or to opening a fund or to doing anything. And it's very important to try and think about your technology and your solution and make sure that it fits into the existing framework, because the reality is that it's the regulators and us have seen many of these different developments. Crypto is not new. The technology is new. The principles are the same. The risks are the same.
And lastly, could I have some of your input on the Howey test? A lot of people see it as the way how to define, let's say, between security token and utility token and so on. What's your point of view on the Howey test?
I mean, that is the big question. And if you're doing an ICO, is it a utility or is it an asset security? And that's very, very important. And it's about breaking down and analysing which one of the two it is. If it's a utility and it falls in, then that's absolutely fine. It becomes unregulated and you need to deal with that. But if it is securities, then again, it falls into the existing framework. And that can be a very good thing because it gives the people who are going to buy it and invest in it some comfort and that they're not going to lose their money.
Okay. And lastly, what would you say is your biggest takeaway from Immutable Blockchain Summit?
Well, this has been a really good summit. One of the things that has been particularly pleasing is that there's often a gap between the financial institutions and also those sort of startups and those involved in or creating the platforms. And what this is clearly demonstrating is that actually that gap is narrowing. And there's institutional money that's looking at these assets or crypto as an asset in itself. And so the two is becoming very, very close together and bridging the gap. So this is helping doing that.
And definitely, I think that's truly important for any startup and to work closely with regulator and even a traditional financial institute to make sure this business boom and scale and at a healthy way.
That's right, exactly.
Thank you very much, Jolyon, for this interview. Thank you.